How y'all doing? It's so funny, when I came to log into this live, there was some people reading cards as I went to log into the live. And I found that funny to me, that is what Spirit showed me as I came to log into the live. I was sending my invites out. How y'all doing? I have been... Sarah, you be on your game. Do you have a notification on, sis? How you doing, friend? How's your work going? We could catch up. I came here because I was sitting with the client. Thank you, friend. I was sitting with the client, and she just disclosed so much to me. And in her showing herself to me, the beautiful thing about the healing work that we're doing, we heal one, we heal all. We're so interconnected that if we heal one, we heal all. And so while she's sharing herself with me, my heart is just breaking because of the pressure we put on ourselves, but we put on our young Black girls. And there's so many different ways that I can play this pressure conversation, but I want to keep it relevant to my client, to where she was the youngest of maybe 3 children. And she said that the reason why she became a people pleaser, well, I walked her into this, but she became a people pleaser, and she said the reason why was because that was the only way that she got attention. And so in being a people pleaser to get attention, you never actually get the reciprocity. Thank you, my sis. You never actually get the reciprocity or your love language being matched, because what you seek on the surface... Y'all got y'all's pen and paper? So tonight we're going to learn, this is why, not tonight, we on jump subjects, but our primary objective tonight is, this is why you're mostly unfulfilled. Oh, there's no question mark there. That's a period. Tonight we're going to learn why you are mostly unfulfilled. I'm going to write, that's our primary point that I'm always going to come back to, but you already know, in order to find this out, we got to journey on down a rabbit hole. So, this client that I'm talking to, yep, I was reading my Bible. All right, sis. Yes, yes. And thank you for double tapping the screen and showing love. Hold on. Get my charger. I need to read my Bible. I keep telling myself to read my Bible, but I still haven't. I keep getting distracted, girl. I done got caught up reading the goddamn Willie Lynch letter and how to break a slave, and that just sent my ass down a freaking spiral that has me here. It's crazy, because I was journaling and I was like, okay, how did my client get here? And then and my client is a Black woman. How did she get here? And somehow, and I journaled my way to it, so we don't even have to guess. Hey, Ree, we trying to figure out how the hell I ended up reading the Willie Lynch letter today. Let me see. I've unearthed a really huge problem talking to Black women. We are raising them and defeating them at the same time. Spirit is saying more slave shit. Apparently that's what I said in my journal. Present. Hey, teacher, teacher. Yes. And then I have a little diagram that says, what are we raising versus what aren't we raising? Anything should be love transfer. Before we even have children, we have to learn a healthy expression of love. Because what I'm experiencing is a large number. One is too many because one represents a demographic of women, myself included, that lack love of self. And I know that's not a new revelation, but y'all look at my handwriting. One, I'm a struggle reader, but dang it, I'm reading this. And I know that's not a new revelation, but y'all know I gotta talk myself into a theory because it's developing. These women have never been treated with love, especially being raised by women who resent them, compete with them, and they themselves aren't prepared to love a child because who loved them? We break each other. Let me go read the Willie Lynch letter real quick. And that is how I ended up reading the Willie Lynch letter. Because I wanted to find out how we as black women are breaking each other. Because there's no reason why I am sitting across from a black woman who doesn't know how to love herself if she was taught to love herself. If she was taught a healthy manifestation of love, she would not be sitting in front of me telling me that she's dealing with a man who doesn't know how to love her. Well, why doesn't he know how to love her? Because no one has ever loved you, starting with your primary caregivers who taught you the definition of love that you accepted for yourself. So the question that we are asking tonight, Ree, is this is why you're mostly unfulfilled. That's a statement. But the question would be, why am I mostly unfulfilled? We're going to get into that. First, we're going to go down to love language. Love languages. You know they're going to put us in a box if they can. So they put us in a box and tell us what the 5 love languages are. But no, whatever your love language is, it should be expressed in all these different ways, if that makes sense. So my love language is knowledge sharing. It's not physical touch. It's not this. It's not that. It's teaching motherfuckers. Like, telling you what I know and what I'm downloading gets me going. Like, this shit gets me hype. I do this for free, and one day I'm gonna do it for millions. But that's my love language, and I don't know how I'm supposed to get that from between my fingers. That was a struggle, y'all. I almost started panicking because this was caught between my fingers. Whew. I am enlightened. Yes, I am, and the enlightened me is a great me to know. Anyway, I love to share knowledge. And the issue that I was running up against with my husband was, this wasn't the original lesson, but let's go here. So my previous love language was gift giving. So everybody identify your love language. Hey, Coco, everybody identify your love language. For me, previously, it was gift giving. Now, if you oscillate between love languages, that's cool, but what is your primary, right? Because a healthy expression of love oscillates between all expressions that are relevant at the time. So if I'm giving a gift, how am I giving that gift? All of that manifestations, the presentation, everything's words of affirmations. All these things are, yes, that is your love language. All of these things are very important. So we got to hit all of them, but we want to identify what our primary was. Now we want to identify, why is this our preferred love language? Why is words of affirmation your preferred love language? Why was gift giving my preferred love language? I'm going to write my answer down, and you write yours down too. And double tap the screen if you appreciate the lesson. All right, so my preferred love language used to be gift giving. And the reason why it was gift giving was because I valued things. I liked fulfilling people's heart's desires. And it was outside of me. So on my healing journey, I have to come into a space of understanding that there's a differentiation. I think that's a word. It's a word tonight. There's a difference between giving of self from inside of you and giving of self from outside of you. And depending on your comfortability with self, I don't know if this is a love piece or not. Comfortability does fall into being a space of self-acceptance, which is love. So it is a love piece to a degree. But what we sorry, intrusive thoughts. I love that my intrusive thoughts are positive now. It used to be that my intrusive thoughts were self-defeating, self-deprecating, like I literally would look at other people and have conversations with other people and have a whole narrative going on in my head about them. And I would literally have to say, stop, Lonnie, stop, Lonnie, stop, Lonnie, in my head. So to create another thought current to overpower the thought current of negative thoughts that are going through my head while I'm looking at a person, like it's crazy. The mental chatter that I have had to talk back in order to actually allow my intrusive thoughts are, just different ways to view whatever I'm talking about. And then sometimes some side conversations do happen and they get me caught. But do the work. Yes, it is work to do to keep your intrusive thoughts at bay. You want to stay focused. You cannot move forward and grow or build anything if you are unable to stay focused. Now you have to also erase the idea of believing that someone like myself, who is, as I identify, a grid or a web thinker, someone who is able to go from dot point to dot point and connect all the dots and end up back at the same point, that a linear thinker can only address one aspect of that at a time, because their willingness to be open to the possibilities is a straight line. Well, my willingness to be open to the possibilities is all over the fucking place. Anything is possible. My view on any given thing at any given time compared to the person next to me is not going to be completely the same. Even when someone stands next to you and says, same sis, it's really not the same. We are in the same wavelength of thinking, but sis, I don't think exactly like you. So if I can admit that we don't think exactly the same, then I can also admit there's other possible ways to think of things. And so that's important while we're coupling with other people and we're bumping up against each other, because my opinion matters. So for your opinion to matter does not disqualify their opinion. Both of your opinions matter. So if you understand that things can manifest and move differently, and just because someone says same and I agree doesn't mean that they agree 100%, which is why me and my husband constantly bump up against each other, because he's like, well, because I don't always agree with you. I was like, you don't have to agree with 100% of what I'm saying, but could 1% of what I said to you be true? And can that be the 1% that you now internalize and find an anchor point so that you can relate to me and we can build something and move the fuck forward? But if I have to continuously fight with you to see my fucking point of view, we're not moving anywhere. And he's like, well, you don't see my point of view. Nigga, I came from your point of view. Do you understand? In order for me to be with you and to communicate with you, I had to see your point of view first. You think this chick, aligned with someone who does not think either the way that she thinks or allows her to control their thinking. Sit on that. You are potentially with someone who, it's really cool to see someone that is not from another country being invited in, who probably speaks English. Usually it's in a whole nother foreign language. They're like, invite so and so, and I'm like, I don't think that he wants to talk to me. Anyway, that was good too. Give it back to me. Bring it on to me. Dun, 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 dun. What the fuck was I talking about? Sometimes my brain has to take a break. That was a brain break. If it's meant to come back, it will. Or you guys can remind me. Anyway, so I was a gift giver because I valued things, because I grew up in poverty, and so I wanted things, so I knew other people want things. And then I would listen to people and they would tell you, so those of you who want to be a better gift giver, this is your note-taking section. I would listen to people and they would just talk about, well, you know, when I was a kid, or, you know, oh, look at that. Oh, babe, look at, and they're showing you things on their timeline. They're telling you all these different things. They're revealing to you their heart's desires. And so in that, when it is time to give them a gift, what are some of the things they told you they wanted? Not what you want. What you want is to give the bomb-ass gift, and what you want ends there, okay? It's not, oh, I wanted to give you this and you should be over fucking joy because I wanted to give this to you, and here's this gesture and you're supposed to appreciate it, even though you have shown me nothing that would tell me that you appreciate this shit. But we get upset because they don't want our gift our way. But if we would have given their gift our way, or if we would have just left our way at, I get to give the gift that will make them happy, and that's what makes me happy. So now when a husband says his entire focus in life is to make his wife happy, it is our focus in life to make him happy, not be overbearing, and not control him, and not force him to shrink himself. And a man will shrink himself to the right woman because he just wants her to be happy. You shouldn't want that from your man, though. You want him to be the man. Right now, I am working to get my husband to step in the space of head of household, because if you have a conversation with him, he will say he is the head of household. If you have a conversation with me, I will hesitantly say, yeah, my husband is the head of my household. You know, if they ask who wears the pants in our house, I will hesitate. And then I will say, well, my husband. Because I know, and he knows, whether either of us care to admit it to ourselves, I run this house. Even in the not running this house, I run this house. Because in that, I'm allowing this house to run the way that it's running. And I refuse to run it until the head of household figures out how. And no matter how far my family has to fall, because I know God ain't gonna let us fall. I'm getting a job. I got the teacher subcontract going. Like, my family has fallen as low as I'm going to allow it to fall. I've allowed us to go as far as I'm willing to let us go. And now God said, but also in that, my husband and I agreed, when Caden goes to kindergarten, I'll get a job. My first day of work is the day he goes to kindergarten. How's that for divine timing? But he has to take control of this family. He will never garner the respect he deserves until he does. What does that look like asking for a friend? Lord, a man running the household? Maybe that's what that is. Tell me what that is. My hubby told me he is looking for my lead. what I want for the fam spiritually, educationally, because you run your household. You tell him what you want, and together you structure it. Because, okay, boom, let's go there. So, women lead the home. I've been saying this, still mean it. The home. All right, so if women lead the home, how can a woman healthily lead the home? Because the proper structure is man. The proper structure is man over woman. That's the proper structure. Now that doesn't mean side by side. No, I want my man. I want my man in front of me. I'm sorry. Side by side, that's cute. No, I want that motherfucker to be. I want my husband to be so fucking just everything that I'm behind him like, that's my man, my man, my man, my man. I don't want to be next to him. I want to be behind him. I want him to be so powerful of a leader that I could just lay back and do nothing. That's what I want. So in my world, the man is above the woman. But in that, it's still a partnership. It's still a partnership, and here's how, because we got to do this in a healthy way. So, as Ree said, my husband told me he is looking for my lead. Because if he were to run the household in accordance to how he knows to run the household, depending on his preparedness, he gonna run that bitch into the ground. So you gotta take the lead. Like, whatever you tell me to put on my back, I'm gonna put that shit on my back, but you gotta tell me what the fuck to put on my back. But also take some of that pressure off of you and teach him how, okay, this is how I figure out how to take the lead. And now you have taught him strategy, and that is why the strategy session, strategizes, does not matter. That's why strategizing together is important. So first, so your lead would be the idea. Hey, babe, there's a problem. I got a solution. So this would be Ree. And y'all feel free to drop something in my Cash App and give us a tip for helping y'all out here. So the lead would be Ree or the woman. The idea. Hey, babe, we have a problem. We need to solve it. Boom. All right. Now, what men are used to is for us to come with the idea, the solution, the execution, and boom, and they ain't got to do nothing. Just, hey, you heard your mama. That's all they got to do. But that's not what we want. That's not partnership going forward. So partnership should be the idea, which would be, that is why God made Eve. Because Adam needed a fucking brain. God was like, fuck, I forgot the brain. Boom, there goes Eve. So I know, I don't care how offensive that is. That's the fucking truth. We are the fucking brains of the operation. I need to stop cussing before they catch me. We are the effing brains of the operation. And so we come with the idea, because when you are within divine alignment with that which you're supposed to be aligned with, a man will follow you anywhere. And that's another lesson. That's not today. So after you come with the idea, now it is the how do y'all spell strategy, y'all? Hey, I choose not to know how to spell it this time. Strategy session. So within that strategy session, that would be Mr. and Mrs. And sometimes when we get into the flow of these, the primary strategy session can be between mom and dad, or depending on the level of the collection, the collectivity of the household, it can be a family strategy session. So you just choose. It's not written in stone. We're flowing, right? So after the woman comes with the idea, then now the strategy session is the Mr. and the Mrs. Now, we understand that the Mrs. is the brains of the operation and he's just the muscle. So in this, she's probably going to have the meat and the potatoes of the ideas of how to execute this idea. But you want to make sure that this idea is executed in a way that doesn't make him feel like he is having his snipped off. And so that's why his input is important, but we don't want to ask for his input in a way. We want to challenge him because Spirit is trying to make a point, and I'm just like, no, we are not going to accept I don't know and whatever you want anymore. You must raise this fucking family with me. I'm not doing this shit by myself. But how do we encourage him? Well, first up front, hey babe, I'm taking this family in a different direction and I need your help. Now he knows what the fuck you're doing. So now when you sit down with your idea and you're like, we need to strategize. And so that's where you come. Okay, this is the way that we're going to work through our ideas going forward. So here's a new system, Jay. I'm going to come with you. I'm going to take the lead and I'm going to give you my idea. After I give you my idea, we're going to strategize. Within that strategy session, I would desire for you and I to spitball some ideas. I would like to see at least 4 ideas from you, 4 ideas from me. Is that number comfortable for you? Yeah, babe, that number's comfortable. Okay, so now he knows what your expectation is. And if he can't come up with 4 and shit, you can't come up with 4, then we decide it's case by case. But for you to be like, you ain't got nothing else in that? Like, I said this, and this, and you only said that. We can't come with that energy anymore because that shuts them down. Because they're like, yo, I tried, and you're still telling me it's not good enough. And I'm talking to myself while I'm talking to you guys. This is why tribe is so important. I couldn't tell myself this without speaking to you guys. You understand that? You are pulling this out of me. So thank you. Double tap the screen and tell me that you're here and you are in gratitude of what we're doing here today. So after the strategy session, this is where you cleave into each other. Okay? If you are skipping this part, you and your spouse are not cleaving into each other. And if you're wondering why you're experiencing marital issues, it's probably because you jump from idea to execution. Execution. So that's where you're fucking up right there. Strategy session. Him disallowing and you not even letting him into the chat. So you have to, no matter what he says, he's delivering a message in relation to the advancement of your family within the language that he has available to you. And you have to be wise enough to know that whatever this motherfucker over here said, this incoherent shit that he just said, your spirit and your soul is evolved enough to be able to translate whatever the hell he said. And then you go into execution. You want to make sure that you both, this is a mess. I hope y'all can see my lines. You both go into execution because it's not your job to carry everything in your fucking household anymore. I took the lead with the idea. I do not have to take the lead with the execution. This is where we both step in, husband. And so he is looking for opportunities to do the execution. You are looking for opportunities to do the execution. You guys are tag teaming and you're teaching and he's teaching and yada, yada, yada and doing correction. You guys are going back into strategy mode and you're like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Let's run your fucking family like a business so then it becomes a well-oiled machine. Y'all ain't documenting, y'all ain't paying attention to shit, and that's why your freaking family is faltering. So anyway, you go back into your strategy session, you see what worked and what didn't work. You go back into execution, and whatever works becomes a family law. This is how the fuck we move going forward. And that's how you start working through the BS that's going on in your life. But this ain't even why. Ree, that's your thing right there. That is how you take the lead. There's another step, but I forgot. And my train of thought has disappeared. My hubby told me nutritionally, it works best when we work together. He wants to have a plan to follow. I love a good plan, friend. I want him to lead so bad. Okay, and we just talked about how to get him to lead. We need to have strategy sessions, right? Strategy sessions are going to be, yes, dear. Excuse me, no, what's my name?
Grandmother.
Okay, what's up?
My new name.
Excuse me? You have lemonade in your water? What'd you just say?
I found my new name.
You picked out your new name?
Yes.
What's your new name?
Baby Spider.
What?
Baby Spider.
Baby Spider? You got to use the correct letter
No,
sound.
I will spider. I will be a baby spider.
Are you a baby spider?
No, I will be a spider. My name might be Baby Spider.
Well, what's your name?
Spider, I think.
Spider? Are you saying spider with an S? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So say it correctly. Spider.
Spider.
Okay, now I know what you're saying. Thank you. So I need to call you Spider now?
Yes.
Okay, Spider.
Bye-bye, dream mom.
Bye, Spider. I told him, what's my name? He said, Queen Mother. Well, then I want a new name too. So now I got to call this boy Spider because I want to be called Queen Mother. See what this the shit. This the shit. And how can I tell him no? Well, I want to change my name, but you can't change your name. Now I'm taking his power away. And now I'm creating another person that allows people to take their power away and then say this is love. I'm not doing that anymore. And that's why I sat across from that black woman, and this is why you are so greatly unfulfilled, is because I sat across from that black woman and she told me that her entire life, the expression of love that she's used to is her delivering her love language, but her not receiving her love language in return. And so now when she goes into a romantic relationship and she's like, hey, in my mind, I know at least this relationship, I deserve to be loved at my capacity. You, motherfucker, at least got to be the first person to love me the way that I deserve to be loved. But if nobody in your life and you have never enforced anyone in your life to love you the way that you deserve, you think the first time you are is going to be, especially as a woman, to get a man to learn how to love you your way. And the way that you're saying is, you're not loving me correctly. And he's like, I bend over backwards for you. What do you mean I'm not loving you correctly? Well, you're loving me according to your terms. Like when my husband used to open the door for me, I would be standing there like, hurry the fuck up, nigga. Now I will literally stop at a door and back up and let him open it. But in the beginning, that wasn't my love language. I didn't appreciate having to wait for a nigga to open the door for me. Nigga, I opened my own door. But that was his love expression. So I allowed a space for his love expression. And now he'd be like I'm acting dramatic, because I will reach out to grab a door and I'll remember I'm with him and I'll pull my hand away. I'm not opening a door with him. And I'm teaching my sons. And the only time I open a door, when I'm with my daughter, the hierarchy there is, if I'm with my daughters, I open the door. If Adoy is the next oldest, she opens the door. So when it's females, per me, my unspoken rule is the eldest opens the door. When it's men, whichever man decides to get the door. But I better not open the door in the presence of a man, period. Not one of my men. Now, depending on the energy, I may or I may not, coach somebody else's child over at that school. Them boys about to get the business. I better see nothing but proper conduct, or they gonna hate Teacher Appleton. I'm gonna be Miss K. I don't need nobody Googling me. These motherfuckers Googling me and shit. They Googled me at my last school. They're like, okay, Teacher Taylor. I was like, oh, Jesus, y'all motherfuckers. At least that was the content they found over at, when I worked at the other school. The other school, yeah, they can't find this content over at the other school. I'm gonna go over to the hood school. They'll accept me over there. Even though now that I am aligning with a school, there's certain talking points that I avoid now, because I can argue, period. Boom. I'm brilliant. But I can argue who I was prior to affiliation, but it's a little bit more difficult to argue who I am with affiliation. Take that which you align with a little bit more seriously than you have in the past. Excuse me? Excuse me? Yes.
The angel that did the middle finger on me.
She did the middle finger on you?
Yes.
Well, you should go address that. Why are you involving me?
You always do middle fingers on me.
No, well, you should tell her you don't like that. You should find a way to let her know not to treat you that way. Let me rephrase. He wants me to write the blueprint so he knows what to have the family follow. So I believe I explained that pretty well. That is, you introduce the idea, then he double tap if I explained it in a way that that's what you meant, because to me that makes sense. You introduce the idea because we're the idea guys, right? You're creatively you're creative. We're the idea guys. So we then take the idea to our spouses and then we figure out how to execute it. All right, okay, cool, boom. We figure out how to execute it. Then we both go to the family and we say, boom, this is how it's going to go down. And then we watch and we work out the kinks and we see what's going on. And then we go back to a strategy session and we say, okay, this is what's working. In the second strategy session, include the children because the children are going to give feedback because we're trying to figure out how to run the family. Not just the adults, run the children. We're trying to learn how to run the family. And so the second strategy session should definitely involve the children. I'm going to say 99%. We're playing everything by ear, right? Lonnie said involve the children, but it's still chaos. Well, then don't do it at your house. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. But at my house, the first strategy session involves the children because the children are always coming to me like, Mom, this is what needs to happen. And I'm just like, okay. And then I sit on it, figure out, then I go to Dre. What in the world is going on? You know better. They done messed me up. God dang kids. Strategy, young strategy. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Cooking dinner. Our issue is, hold up, I'm sorry. What are you crying about is consistency of whatever we set. It is, but you have to understand the inconsistency of your household is a consistency. Just like I told sis because she was telling me that she stress eats and I said, why do you cause yourself self-destruction? And she said, this is the only thing that I can control. I was like, you have to understand that being out of control is not control. You understand? Control is taking a hold of something. So if you cannot take a hold of you putting food in your mouth, you are controlling nothing. You are actually out of control. So you saying that consistency is the issue, no, you are consistently inconsistent, which means you are very capable of being consistent. You just have to continue to overturn and overturn and overturn until you find that one that clicks in. It's refining, and it's loving your fucking legacy enough to actually put some effort into being consistent. Inconsistency is consistent because it takes minimal effort. It said, in the Willie Lynch letter, what do you want? Control, slave, fear. He comes after a while to this day. Africans set against have experiment. Hold on, he said the purpose of the speech is to tell the slaves. Hold on, here goes. No, I have foolproof method, at least 300 years. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I talk to you. Okay, so boom, here also any differences. This is a big identity. Ooh, now when here's a list of age, color, Course here, this, esteem, job, social. I want to point this out. I apologize, but I want to find it. Hold on. Raising, control, self, deserve, desire. I shall assure you that this, boom. It says, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. Do you understand? How many of us say, I can't trust nobody? And they clocked your asses back in the 1700s. Whether the letter is true or not, I don't care. They clocked your asses. It says, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. Do you want to know why distrust is stronger than trust? Because it's easier not to trust. How much effort does it take? On a scale of 1 to 100 on a pie chart, how much effort does it take to distrust? How much effort does it take to trust? It actually takes energy to trust. Because now you have to develop some standards of trust. Now you got to develop your spirit of discernment. Now you got to do some work on you, because if you allow people in who aren't supposed to be in, now you got to figure out why you let that person in, and now you must elevate yourself. So it's just easier to lock in where you're at and just not trust nobody. So I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, because we're fucking lazy. I say that with love. And I said we're. My dad taught me that I do not open doors if I'm with a man, period. My husband taught me that. And I'm teaching my sons, and my husband is as well. We're teaching our sons. We're teaching our sons. Sarah, Coco, whoever else is out there, I'm reading my journal from 2022, and fucking Dre walked on water. I was like, was I disillusioned? Or did this man really walk on water? And how the hell has he fallen so far? Well, he walked on water because he allowed me to control him. Any man that lets me do whatever the hell I want to do without any kickback is all right with me. So I said, we have the strength and the fortitude to get through anything. But then when we actually tried to get through something, it almost broke us. Why? Because I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, and admiration. Because once again, it is easier just to fall into, who the fuck is you? Than it is to fall into adulation, whatever the heck that word means, respect, and admiration. That takes work. That means I actually got to see things inside of you that I respect. But if I don't even know what to respect in you, how can I even respect you? So it's just easier to envy you. It's easier to just allow my wife to run this household and for me to just sit back than to figure out how to actually run this household. They have to figure it out. And the way that we do it is idea, strategy session. Boom, that's the piece I missed. Idea, strategy session. This is good. I need to write this down. It's idea, strategy, execution, re-strategy. This may include the entire family if you choose. Execution, and then enforcement. That is where he becomes the head of the household. Okay, so, pop your shit. Pop it. Yes, pop your shit then. Pop your stuff. Spirit is doing a thing right now. What is the word? Go and get some business, dog. Man. Ooh, 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 ooh. Kaden! Hold on, I gotta do something with this dog. But it's worth the wait, y'all, because I'm about to pop my shit down. Well, Spirit is, but I'm the delivery system, so I'm gonna take some credit too. Go on, get some business. Go on. Hey, somebody let this dog out. Go on. You don't get to pretend you. I'm sick of you. Go on. Alfalfa, go. Go outside. That dog stresses me out, y'all. He don't go out a door unless I go out a door. So that means in order for him to walk through the door, I gotta walk through the door. And if I stop in the doorway, he stop in the doorway. And if I go and try to push him through, then he starts pissing everywhere. Like, this dog stresses me the dang heck out. All right, let me read. I'm just gonna read the comments. I'm not going to go on a tangent, but I want to catch up with the comments, okay? I will not answer anything in the comment section. We're good with that. You covered it. Okay, boom. And then we got some likes. Popio-ish. Pop my ish. Shall I grab a notebook? Why haven't you grabbed the notebook already? Michael is sleeping good. Oh, yeah, that's my baby. He, your shadow. That's a puppy for you. Oh, I can't stand him. I love him. Like, he's like, and I wonder, of course, I believe that we are kindred spirits. But also, I was the first human because based on the way that he acted around humans, look, we're at the bottom, so I can answer this. Based on the way he acted around humans, they weren't nice to him in the shelter. And so I believe that I was the first human to show him love, and Adoy was the second human to show him love. So that dog loves my dirty draws. Like, I can't, when I swing my hand back, I touch his muzzle. Like, he is sure to put his muzzle in my hand. He does that to Dre, and he hates it. But, you know, when I swing my hand back, you know, and I'm allergic to him, so I don't really pet him because then I got to go do a whole shower situation. But, you know, my little pat in the muzzle, that's my little, hey, boo, hey, you know, that's our little connection point. Like, get it how you can. All right, so boom. Here we go. The idea is the woman. The enforcement is the man. Now, if we think about the chakras and we think about feminine and masculine energy, the idea, which is connection to higher self, which is the brain, which is the heart. Remember, you want to solve a problem because there's a problem to be solved. We as women can't live in dysfunction no matter what. To the next woman, this is the judgment space that they ingrained in us. You know, we got to see every possible difference. It literally says use their differences against them, meaning if we stand in judgment of each other, we are literally executing the devil's plan on our lives. So regardless of what you assess dysfunction is in the next woman's life, understand that a woman can't really exist in dysfunction. It's not in her. Somewhere in her, in that present space that she's in, she does not see the dysfunction she's in. Now, it comes a space in her place within her development that she wakes up and she becomes aware, which I am very much aware of the dysfunction that I'm in, but there is nothing that I can do about it presently. So I have to be okay with being within the dysfunction. But understand, when a woman gets to a space where she realizes this is motherfucking dysfunction, she gets up out of there. So that's why she puts up with what she puts up with. She puts up with, you could be on the outside, on the girl, all you want to, until she wakes up to, this is not for me, this is dysfunction. She gonna sit in it because she doesn't see it. But the moment she sees it, she solves it because we can't exist in it. So That is within the idea, the feminine energy. When we think about energy sources, I don't know if this is the truth. This is what I believe to be true, and this is what God has dropped in my head, so dang it, it's the truth. When we think about the expression of feminine energy, feminine is our upper chakras. So feminine energy is going to be our heart chakra, our throat chakra, our third eye, our higher consciousness, and if there's a chakra in there, you know what the heck I'm talking about. And when we think about the expression of our masculine energy, we're thinking of our brainless, non-communicative, non-thinking, non-feeling aspects of ourselves, except for our solar plexus. This is real Philly. And we got our solar plexus, we got our sacral, we got our... there's some other stuff down there. There's one right here and then a root chakra. Okay, so we got our chakras down there, but those aren't the thinking. But these are, say with your chest ass looking chakras. So those are going to be the enforcers. So when we look for our men to become the head of household, it's not that we want him to have the idea. We want him to help us develop the idea so we feel like we have a partner in this. But we can come up with the idea. We need assistance developing the idea. We need assistance executing the idea. We need assistance re-strategizing and bringing the idea back into, but I need you to enforce it. Man, that is how you become the head of the household. And you are part of the entire system, so you're aware of everything, but you can't expect a man to enforce an idea he had nothing to do with, which means if you just go from idea to execution and you bypass strategy, he can't enforce it. And that is exactly why a man will come to you and say, what do you want me to do? Because even if you did sit because Spirit's like, no, don't let these motherfuckers off the hook. Because even if you did sit in on the strategy session, if you were not present and paying attention, and me and Michael came up with the definition of what paying attention means today. So if you were not paying attention, then you still can't execute. And what paying attention means to us is to use all 6 senses. So you're using your sight, your sound, your smell, your taste, your touch, your intuition. To pay attention is to use as many of the 6 senses to determine what is happening. Okay, so as many. Every circumstance, I don't have to smell to pay attention. I don't have to taste to pay attention. But sometimes those come into play. Every single circumstance, I must use my intuition, period. But it's case by case with the other uses of the senses. But it is for our spouses to sit in these strategy sessions, in these family meetings, and pay the fuck attention. You pay attention enough at work so you don't lose your job. Pay attention enough in your family so you don't lose your family. It's real fucking simple. And this is why we're mostly unfulfilled in our relationships, because our spouses are not allowing us to express our ideas, our divinities, all of our things in the way that feeds us. They're stopping us from doing it because they don't understand. They're not involved for whatever reason. They're not comfortable. And so the reason why I was a gift giver is because I was able to do all of the touchy-feely things outside of me. And as I started healing myself, I came to a space of, well, okay, I want to actually experience those things. I like words of affirmation. I like all these different things. I would like to experience those things. Don't just give me flowers. Tell me why you're giving me these flowers. I told my husband, I don't care if y'all agree with it or not, I'm enforcing stepping up in my mother. Oh, that was chakras. I'm enforcing stepping up in my house. I told him, every time you just hand me some flowers, I'm going to allow them to dry out and I'll keep the dead flowers. But I am not going to take care of any flowers that you don't even care enough to say something with. Oh, I was thinking about you. Really? What were you thinking? Give me some words of affirmation. Make me feel like you were actually thinking about me. What about me were you thinking? Oh, my wife would like these flowers. Why? If you don't know why, neither do I. I'm going to let them bitches dry out, and then I'm going to make me so I'm going to still make them meaningful to me. So boom, It's just not allowing him to have the satisfaction. I cannot allow him to think it's okay to half-ass me. I don't care what anybody else accepts for themselves, but for me, I get what I want, period. Which means you will present those flowers to me the way that I want. I'm going to still make them meaningful. So whether you get the satisfaction out of it, I will, because I'm going to make me a little resin ball and I'm going to put all my dead flowers in it. And every time I look at it, I'm like, those are all the times my husband gave me flowers and didn't tell me why. And there's meaning there, because now my husband's going to give me flowers and he's going to tell me exactly why he's going to give them to me, because I had to reprogram him and encourage him to show up for me a little bit more so that I can feel fulfilled in our relationship. Because what's happening is we don't want to say the things that need to be said. It's not that they don't need to be said, they just need to be said in a way that can be digested, which is what we're working on. We're working on softening and moving into our feminine energy, expressing things in the positive, not shrinking ourselves. There's so many different things that we're working on simultaneously. But that is the power of a woman. Once you become aware, you can no longer sit in dysfunction. So once you know a behavior that you're doing no longer serves you, you cannot sit in that behavior. It's just not in our DNA genetic makeup. Yeah, I actually came on here for a reason. I explained love languages. I said why. Okay, so boom. Here's why you're unfulfilled. Now my love language is all the other sentimental shit. Sharing knowledge is my love language. But in sharing knowledge, did I actually write that down in a tangible space so I could come back and get it later? Yes, I did. Anyway, I like to share knowledge, and sharing knowledge, you know, I'm affirming people. I'm able to, you know, do all the things, all the little expressions of making people feel good. I get that out of sharing knowledge. Now, when I was a gift giver, my husband, all he had to do was allow me to give to him. That was all he had to do to receive my love language. In order for me to be happy with being able to give my love language, then in turn allowed me to receive his love language with gratitude, which allowed me to feel fulfilled, was because all he had to do was allow me to give him a gift. That's easy work. What happened when I moved into a space of my love language is knowledge sharing, and sharing in knowledge. It's not just me talking at you, it's us actually sharing in knowledge. Well, now I'm asking him to do something he's never done before. I'm asking him to think in ways that he's never thought before. I'm asking him to use language and words that he's never done before. And those of you who have been on this journey for as long as we've been on this journey, you guys know that I lost touch with reality for a second. So I was talking about dimensions, astros, universes, aliens, and all kinds of other stuff. Like, I was out there and I expected him to come with me. And he was just like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about right now. And I was just like, well, if you just opened your mind to what I'm making complete sense, because I was making complete sense to me. But at the space, and thank you for the love, at the space of ascension that I had reached, it made sense to me, but I had energetically disconnected, language-wise disconnected with an entire demographic, and one of those demographics was my husband. And love language. I couldn't express myself in the way that I want to, because he's not presently equipped to receive my love language. And so now we go from this happy couple, happy wife, happy life, which was my source of happiness was controlling everything. My source of happiness was my way, or energetic cyclone. You know, they used to call my mom hurricane. Yeah, hurricane season, with the energy thrown around when I don't get my way. You know, happiness for me was just bullying my family around. And so now that I've woken up to the fact that that is literally, this thing done been a dictionary, this thing done been a journal, and now this is the Willie Lynch letter. And the how to break a slave, whatever that is. I ain't even finished it, but I done read enough to get on this thing and get on this tangent. But, you know, when I woke up to the fact that I was replicating slave mentality in my home, and I was creating the next generation of a black woman who would sit in front of another black woman and express that she doesn't know how to love herself, or that she accepts love in the, thank you, she accepts love, but the way that that love manifests is verbally abusive or physically abusive, or, you know, doesn't pay attention to her thoughts and ideas, or doesn't give her any support. You know, all these different manifestations. Like, if your kids and spirit is talking to me right now, I help my kids, but I need to be more involved. But right now I'm retraining them. Once they figure it out on their own, and that's just what I do because I know what I'm doing, even though I don't know what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing, I'm being told, and I'm just like, okay, let's see, you know. And so I don't know what I'm doing, but because I clock myself, what I do know what I'm doing is whenever I introduce a new philosophy or program or ideology, indoctrination, whatever words you feel warm and comfy with, my way or the motherfucking highway. Whenever I introduce a new concept into my family or a new idea, I withdraw the previous idea. So they're not simultaneously running at the same time. Intentional, unintentional. This would be what we would identify as consistency. So we try a certain behavior or practice, and it just falls to the wayside, and then we just fall into chaos. And so in that chaos, we should be restructuring a new plan. But, you know, we also need to fall into chaos because people need to see how bad it can get up in here. My family has been able to see how bad it can get up in here without me. And they either got to figure it out or they got to figure it out. Now, I have allowed it to, and this is divinity, I'm moving in God's time. I have allowed this to fall to the space that it has fallen. And honestly, I'm going to get a job not because my husband needs help, but because I need money to run my business. Like, ain't no money to pay the rent, but I got to somehow pay to market my events that will bring in money to pay the rent, but I can't even market them because I don't have money, so damn it, I need to go get a job. And so it's not even I'm going to, and that's what I told him. I was just like, when I get this job, I'm not here to bail you out. I'm not your second job. Our agreement when we came into this relationship was you pay all the bills, I pay the debt, I pay the extra expenses, and I have been able to earn money off and on at whatever amount and frequency that I've been able to earn it, because you were holding up your end of the bargain and I was holding up my end of the bargain. And now we are in a different space, but without having any type of strategy session, because he said what he said, but I said, no, I'm not. I am not restructuring this agreement. You figure it out. Because what Spirit told me is if I help him, he will never learn. So I can't help him because this isn't the first time my husband has been brought to his financial knees. This is not the first time that I've been brought to my financial knees. I have lost everything at least 4 times in my life. Everything except for my pictures and my children. That's why I can get up and walk up out of here, and the only thing I'm taking is a journal again. The only thing I'm taking are my journals and my pictures and my memories and my legacy. The rest of this shit can go. Oh, my art gotta go because that's my legacy too. But otherwise, you know, I don't have earthly attachments because I've lost things so much since my childhood. I've lived a life of loss. Kaden, please correct it. And you sitting right outside my door with it? Yeah, you are. I would not hear you the way that I hear you if you were not right outside my door. Go get some business. That's my new thing. They be telling each other, go get some business. It's so funny to hear children tell each other, go get some business. Are you going to be a man or a mouse? Alright. They're so funny. This one be repeating me. So he was, anyway, I'm not going to get sidetracked. So in order for my husband to receive my love language present day, he has to grow within himself, and to grow within himself makes him uncomfortable. But because he loves me to the depths that he does love me, this is why a man must love you more than you love him. Not because you love him any less, but because a man must be so anchored into you that he's willing to allow you to take him wherever he needs to go to reach his highest potential. Bad connections is he'll anchor into you and you drag his ass into pits of hell. Yeah, that was a soul connection, but that wasn't a blessed, ordained soul connection. If you align with the woman, you need to be aligning, and I'm speaking heterosexually. If you align with the woman, you need to be aligning with the woman who will take you to your highest potential. So when you feel that magnetic connection with someone, it needs to be like, okay, I feel this intense connection with this person. Let me figure out what's going here, which means I'm not instantly going into a sexual relationship or any of those types of things. I just want to know who you are and what you are in my life, because I know that you were brought in my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You know, that's the simplistic way of explaining it, but we are all brought into each other's lives at any given time for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and we don't know what that looks like because there's people out there after 50 years of marriage who are getting divorced. Clearly that wasn't a lifetime. So we have to stop putting people in boxes and expecting them to stay in those boxes forever, and people who have left may come back, because God is constantly moving players in and out of your life at whatever season. So we can't necessarily hold grudges because that person probably said no because God blocked them. That person probably did what they did. Not probably. We know what it is, because at any given time, we are someone else's karma, or they are our karma, depending on what we choose. So if different things that we're bumping up against, and depending on how we respond, and those of you who've been in the community for a while, this would be when I would say that universe is coming back around and saying, did you learn your lesson yet? She bumped her head again. Bitch didn't learn a lesson. So this would be where universe is coming back to see, and this is where we have to choose. Are we going to choose a blessing or a curse? Because God delivers those at the same time. So we have to determine, is this going to be our karma, or is this going to be our blessing? And so if someone crosses us, we get to choose how we're going to respond to that, because that energetic vibration that we put out is either going to draw us more into or delay us, because we're on path. I've been on path my whole life, but I'm 40 something years old, finally hitting the target. And I want to say for myself, well, TikTok didn't exist 20 years ago. All these different circumstances didn't exist 20 years ago, but I knew 20 years ago what I came to this earth to do. But because of what was necessary in order for me to be in the energetic vibration, in the space of consciousness and awareness that I'm in, so much had to happen intentionally in my life. That's why when we say, actually, when we think we're controlling something, we're out of control. When we think we're being when we think we're being inconsistent, we're actually being we're actually being consistently inconsistent. So we're actually expressing things or not expressing things as we believe that we are. And so I had to actually check myself in saying, Lonnie, who is living your life at any given time? Well, that's just my mouth. Why the fuck is that just your mouth? Why have you accepted that in your life? Why have you accepted less than who you can be at any given time? Ooh, girl, so you can sit up and say, ooh, girl, with me? I don't want to sit up and say, ooh, girl, with you bad enough. I want to see you fucking win. So whatever limitation you accept in your life, stop accepting that. You deserve fucking better. They literally told you they are going to use you against you. How many of you guys have read the Willie Lynch letter and never made the parallel to the fucking life you live today? It says it right here. Well, I wrote it down, but it says it in the letter. Like, the stuff that we hold dearly as Black American culture literally is the mind fuck that they said, yo, if you do these things for a year solid, this nigga literally says be consistent. If you do this consistently for a year, you have your wives do it, you have your children do it. It says to create distrust between blacks and whites. It says to tell the black slaves to love the white people. It says to have us to hate each other's skin, to hate each other's hair, to hate each other's everything. They taught us all that. And then when we say, like, you gonna wear your hair like that? You pushing around slave mentality or not? Can't stand that high yellow bit. Are you orchestrating the master's plan or not? Like, are we sus or not? Because if you are looking at me in any form of judgment, you are not sus. And the beautiful thing about that is if your intentions are to become sus, then you pay attention to that which you are judging. And that is your growth opportunity every time. Did I make my point? Because I want to go now. We are unfulfilled because we're not allowed teacher's board. I just pour up this like... I pour so much into it. It's just like, okay, I'm done. I'm addicted to K-dramas, y'all. I be wanting to like neglect my life so I could go watch me a K-drama. I just finished Hierarchy. Hierarchy showed me wealth that I have never seen, or maybe I've seen it, but I've never been in a space to say, hold up, the wealth that you're manifesting, Lonnie, that's peasant wealth. Like, motherfuckers living like this. And to know that motherfuckers living like this, y'all go watch Hierarchy and see they got a freaking lobby in their house. Not a foyer, a lobby. The kid got at least 10 staff members on the kid. I want my kids to have 10 staff members. I want them to have a nutritionist. I want them to have a dietitian. I want them to have a personal trainer. I want them to have a tutor. I want them to have every need that they need, that all my kid has to do is just wake up and be fucking great. And everybody else handles everything for them. Because all of this shit is a motherfucking distraction from you. Do you understand? You having to do anything but figure you out is a distraction. And who is the most distracted human on this earth? Go and type in the chat box. There's 4 of y'all out there. Please participate with me. Teacher gets bored when she's out here by herself. Please double tap the screen. Please share the live. Please communicate with each other. Please drill down from that. Who's mom? Keep drilling down. Who is whatever my original question was? Go ahead and tell me. Moms is a beautiful answer, but who is a mom? Because there's tons of moms out there. There's mama bears. There's mama cats. There's mama bats. What kind of mom are you talking about? Caregivers and gatekeepers of the home. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now, this is going into different gender. So what we're saying is the most, I don't remember what my original question was, but we're going to say the most targeted demographic. I don't remember my point, but the point is black women. Black women. They fuck with us the most. But I'm going to read more on it today because it's a lot and I feel like purging my brain. I don't want to use my brain anymore. Some of you guys send me messages and it takes me a long time to get to you. It's simply because the brain width that I have to use to respond to you, like I literally feel my third eye vibrating right now. Y'all, day my third eye opened, that shit knocked me on my ass. I was in the bathroom and I think I was listening to gospel music and I just broke down ugly crying and I doubled over like the wind got knocked out of me and I was just like, I was crying and I fell on the tub. Like the day my third eye opened, the day my wings came in, y'all. Oh, The stories I have to tell. Yes, there's so many levels to this. And there's some of you in the community that know exactly what I'm talking about because you got your wings and your third eye is open. And there's some of you just like, this bitch is crazy. But she ain't been wrong. So I'm going to keep doing the work. Keep doing the work, y'all. Because when I tell you, even Adoy, look, and don't be hard on yourself. Because Adoy lives in the house with me and still has daily access to me. And she is an active seeker. And she still has questions. And she still has not experienced her third eye open or the sprouting of wings or whatever it is that is supposed to happen in her ascensions. And as she develops and becomes into different versions of herself, you become a new being. That's what God said. You become a new being within me. So who's to say what that is? I can show you my back right now and you literally will see scratches down my back on my shoulder blades because my shoulder blades itch so bad. I literally be on walls going like this trying to scratch between my arms because your itch is so bad. And so one day out of curiosity, I went and I YouTubed. I was like, what does it mean when your shoulder blades itch? It means that your wings came in. I'm an earth angel. And I've always known it, but I didn't know it. But now I know it. This ain't me. I can't do this. Like, Ree, you've been here since the beginning. Could I access what I access now? And you know this isn't because I went and read a bunch of books. Because as soon as you ask a question, I can answer it. I didn't go like, hold on, let me check my research. We can only talk about one particular subject at a time because that's what I'm versed in. No, you can ask me anything and I can answer it because it's not me. Is that why my shoulder blades hurt? Yes. Yes, go research it. Your wings could be coming in. Now, all that aligns with your consciousness development, because I came into my God knowing first. And that's when Dre was mocking me. He was like, how did you go from, because first I was an alien, because that's like, I'm not from here. I don't know what I am, but I'm not from here. So the easiest thing they allow us to grasp onto is an alien. Aliens are probably, I believe in aliens. Why not? Shit. We exist. But what I'm saying is they allow us to believe in aliens. I guess the parallel that I'm working to make is we are God, right? But we're not allowed to admit that. That's blasphemy. And the sooner we know who we are, and yes, there is a demographic of us that's not of God. And I'm not saying you're of the devil. I'm just saying you're disconnected from divinity. I don't know what you are, honestly. Satan was a cast out angel, which means Satan was of God too. I don't know what y'all motherfuckers are. But you're out there. We have to understand that demons are anything that does not serve God. I deliver this message often, but as soon as y'all hear that word, y'all be like, ah! Y'all don't even hear the message. There's healing behind the message. You can't reject everything that bumps up against everything because then you can't grow. Like, I'm not telling you, look, if you come over my house, if I didn't tell y'all why y'all are unfulfilled is because you can't love at your love language. And that's why your spouse needs to let you love at your love language as well as be give and receive your love language, give and receive their love language. So it needs to be secular. That's why you're unfulfilled. All right. So if you come over my house and I give you this food, right? This is your plate. And I give you this food. You're like, yeah, I fucks with that. Ooh, this was the bomb. I'm going to eat all that. Oh, yeah, we ain't even messing with that. She put raisins in the potato salad. I should have known not to go over Lonnie's house eating. That bitch somebody told me she can't cook. I should have trusted her. And you just leave that on the plate, too. So you came over my house, and I fed you all of this. But you only consumed this much. So the same thing when you're having a conversation with somebody, just because they say all of this don't mean you got to receive all of that. And that is the misconception in I agree or disagree with you. I'm going to say all of this. I don't need you to believe all of this. I just need you to believe some of this so that now you can take some of this and incorporate it. Man, I left my top off too long. Teacher, Taylor has been stalled out. I done ran out of ink. All right. So I'm going to take this much of your idea and this much of your idea. And I'm going to take this piece of your idea and I'm going to add it to my idea. And I'm going to take this piece of your idea and add it to my idea. And now my idea went from this to this because now I incorporated your thinking. So it's not for us as spouses to reject each other's ideas. It's not for us as spouses to expect our spouses to take our idea entirely in because we have completely different backgrounds and processing systems and yada, yada, yada. And so it's for us to go back and forth. And so from your idea, I like this because when Dre's like, you don't understand me, I'm like, nigga, I understand you. I came from you. I understand all of this. But I took all of this and now I created this and now I'm creating all of this. And I need you to get some of that. And so anyway, my former thinking wasn't wrong. It was just unevolved. So when he comes with former thinking, it's for me to not reject it. Like, that's elitist attitude. I don't think that way. You know, I'm evolved. I'm God. I don't think that way. Peasantry. It's not for us to be that way. It's for us to be like, okay, if he's bringing this point back up and God makes no mistakes, that means whatever is being introduced here, there's something there. That means, I think that's his. Whatever is being introduced here is something that needs to be reintroduced here. And so now I took my thinking and I evolved my thinking and even more. The thing is, I'm evolving my thinking absent of him, and he's evolving his thinking, if at all, absent of me. And we're continuously rejecting each other's growth opportunities. So that just answered a question somewhere. I live with an alien, real talk. I believe it. So I went through my phase. Thank you for reminding me. I went through my phase. Initially, I was an alien because I know I'm not of this world. I think we all can agree I inhabit a body, but this is a little weird. It's different. And then I went through, because I wanted to be a channel. Like, I've studied channels since 2009 and stuff like that. I was pretty sure I was channeling back then because, like, I read my 2022 journals and I'm like I'm saying the stuff I'm saying, but I don't know what I'm saying at the time. I'm like, well, I wonder if that doesn't really make sense. I don't do what I want for a living, if that's a thing. Let me see. I do what I want on someone else's dime. Hold on. What does this say? I always said I want to do me for a living. I want to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. And for the most part, that is my life. The only caveat is I do what I want on someone else's dime. I don't do what I want for a living. I don't do what I want for a living, and that's the thing. Maybe that wasn't a good example, but I do what I want. Like, I've always wanted to do what I want to do me for a living. That is what I've always said. I don't know what that is, but I want to do me for a living. And I'm literally creating doing me for a living. I'm about to go over to this school, and even though I'm going to be a substitute teacher, you don't think that I'm going to be like, while some substitutes play heads up, 7-Up, I'm going to play, so what's going on with you? Oh, for real? You want to solve that problem? Who's solving problems today? We're solving problems all day in Mrs. Anderson's class while I sub. You're in for a treat, kiddos. But, what I'm saying is I have always been, no matter what job I've had, I've always been able to speak life into people and help people. And so now I am coming into a space where I'm creating a platform to where I am not going through someone else and getting paid. And that's what I said. I'm not getting paid to do somebody else's work. I'm creating the platform to do my own work. And so when we're going through life and we're trying to figure out what it is that we want to do with ourselves, I literally said, I want to do me for a living. And that's what I'm doing. So even if your aspirations aren't something that can be put in a box, that doesn't mean you don't continue to pursue it. My journey to doing me for a living took me to cosmetology school, where I met my husband. I always say I paid $21,000 or however much my cosmetology license was. I paid $21,000 to meet my husband. I don't do hair. I'm terrible at it. But I met my husband. You know, my pursuit of knowledge took me into my master's degree to become a teacher because I was too afraid. I wanted to become an inspirational speaker, but I didn't know how to do it. And this was during the yes, yes era, and, you know, the no more sheets era, and the woman thou art loose era. You know, how the heck do you break into that? You know, I have a hard enough time breaking into the Phoenix structure because I'm not a good old boy, or I'm not. And the black people have good old boy, you know, they have the gatekeepers, as you said. They have the people who will not let you in until you are shiny enough to be let in. And that's why this is such hard work for me to do. It's not hard work. It's work that's this is work that's earned. You don't know how good it feels to see Sarah show up. Like, soon as I go live, Sarah's like, present. You know, you don't know how good that feels, because it's just like, she sees the value in what we got popping off right here. And she knows whatever the hell is going on, I got to come see about it. Because it's helping me. Do you understand that I can't even give this away for free? I've tried. It won't be until I'm shiny enough that they let me in. And that's so fucking weird to me, because the people who won't let me in are the woke people who say they're out here to help people, but they're brain dead too. To hear some of the stuff that comes out of y'all's woke ass mouths is crazy. I was like, y'all hustling backwards. Y'all literally accepting depression as a norm. We're at all these open mics where we're being conscious and all these different things, and you're talking about wanting to take your life, and you think that is God? Like, what God do you serve that got you 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on earth? Like, you need to redefine that relationship. Redefine that relationship, yo, because, you know, it broke my heart. I was journaling about this earlier, I believe. I was writing about it in my book. New book's coming soon. I was really sad when I went to the graveyard, and thank you for the love, guys. When I went to the graveyard to visit my son, my stepson, I'm done. They're my stepkids. They're my husband's children at this point. They're my husband's kids, and I'm comfortable in that space. My lips are peeling. I don't want y'all to experience that on camera. But I went to go visit my stepson, and we were leaving. I saw a grave headstone that said, now she's in a better place. I was like, it really makes me sad that there's so many of us living to die. There's so many of us who feel death, the unknown. Because as tapped in as I am, I don't really know what's on the other side. And I can't even say that. I could be wrong. I could end this and Satan be like, gotcha, bitch. Dang it, I should have professed Jesus Christ. You know, who knows what's on the other side? Nobody does. don't want to be burning in damnation, eternal damnation, because I did not profess the name. I know the word, but apparently there's that one caveat that got my ass burning for eternity. But yeah, it made me sad that there's so many of us. And I had a conversation with a friend, and she was just like, because I was talking about how I'm not aging anymore. And she was just saying the beauty in aging. And I was like, well, no, I don't have a problem with getting older. I'm not aging. I'll tell her. I'm not aging, which means all the symptoms, the memory loss, the sight loss, the frailty of the body, all these different things that we accept as old age and the aging process. I don't know what TV show I was watching, but this 70-year-old woman looked like she was younger than me. I was just like, well, that's what 70 is supposed to look like. Angela Bassett, that's what damn near, I think 80 is supposed to look like. Damn near, definitely damn near 70. That's what that's supposed to look like. If not better, because both of those women caught on later in life how to reverse aging. So imagine if they came into this lifetime knowing how to bioengineer and reverse aging, the concept, because that is what I have adapted. I'm telling you, we don't have to accept degradation on any level in our lives. Oh, shit. Oh, hold on. Did something fly up my nose? The fuck was that? I'm sorry, y'all. The hell is that? We don't have to accept. I just be letting all my ticks go in front of y'all. They're like, this bitch crazy. She is. Anyway, we don't have to accept degradation in any level in our life. We accept the absolute best, whatever that is in our capacity at the time. That is the only way that we are going to raise our legacy into their greatness, is if we acknowledge our greatness, right? And we have to write it down, document. We have to document it, because depending on when we started our transition into our authenticity, into our God consciousness, into our higher selves, whatever language you're comfortable with, from the point that we started our ascension, Coco, you're in a good spot because you don't have any children. So you can raise your children from birth from where you're at. But you still want to document your life, because your DNA and legacy is going to be able to decode and decipher life in accordance to your language, because even though we all speak English, we process life differently, right? If I say, what does disrespect mean? Each and every one of us has our own answer for what disrespect means. And so that means that as you raise your legacy, and whatever legacy raised you, they taught you their definition of disrespect. Now, some will just say, don't be disrespected, and you found out what disrespect means because, is that a cross fingers or a piece? Listening, multitasking. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just running my mouth. So I expect you guys to live life while I'm just running my damn mouth, working on a book. Let's go, Coco. Coco's a writer. Yeah. Oh, it's a snap. I thought you were saying working on a book is a snap. I was like, okay, go write them books then, sis. In the jiffy. But, I don't remember, but aging backwards. Angela Bassett, accepting old age. I was talking to my friend, and she said, she was just like, I'm excited. The wisdom and the experience and all the things. And every day I grow older, I get closer to meeting my Lord. And I was just like, oh, God, you're one of them? You are living to die? Oh, my God, how miserable must life be that you are waiting to die to meet this mythical creature that may or may not be there? I acknowledge that divine energy, God is real, but is God in a destination? I'm not sure. And will we reconvene with God once we leave this physical body? I'm not sure. I am not sure. I personally, because I believe this is how Elijah never died. Did y'all know that Jesus was walking around before Jesus? There was Elijah and there was Elisha, and they was doing all the things that Jesus was doing. So I'm just saying, I don't know what that means, but I just know the miracles that Jesus was performing, they were performing in the Old Testament. So I don't know what that point is, but point is that I believe it was Elijah didn't die. It might be Elisha. It don't matter. One of them. Because who was it? Because I think Elisha, the dead man got thrown where Elisha's, and I might be saying the name wrong, where Elisha's bones were. And when the dead man's body hit Elisha's bones, he came back to life. That's some Jesus bone stuff. You know. You touch Jesus' bones, you coming back to life too. But Elijah didn't even die. God just said when God was ready to take Elijah, God took Elijah. So I'm just saying, it's possible to be taken. You think God stopped taking at Elijah? I'm thinking some people can be taken. I'm saying you just living your life and you have decided that you're done. Now, I don't know what happens. Does your soul exit the body? Because I watched... Who? Coco, did you send me that? Coco be sending me some wild videos. Thank you. I like when you guys send me videos because that's what... I don't really scroll my timeline. And when I do, my timeline's so... I don't even know what the hell's on my timeline. I don't be paying attention to it. But, hey, Alexandria. But when you guys send me videos... You guys allow me to see what else is going on in the world because I really don't know what's going on in the world. I live under a rock. Actually, I live in my bed and mind my business and pay attention to myself. I don't really deal in distractions. That's when I was saying, I think I was saying this to you, Ree, on your live, where I was saying that, you know, I don't spend too much time in idle mind. And I know that, meditation is idle mind so that you can commune with higher self. But I commune with higher self, period. So I don't need idle mind to commune with higher self. So now I'm like, well, how can I utilize idle mind? Now, you know, in our thing, it doesn't have to be all of anything. So if idle mind does have a value, how much in my thing is me constantly thinking about me, self-development, how can I get better, how much of me is that, and how much is idle mind? Because idle mind, if there is a value for idle mind, which I don't know what it is at present, so because idle mind does not have a value for me, the amount of time that I spend in idle mind would probably be here. And this would just be me challenging myself to do something that I typically don't do. And when I challenge myself to get uncomfortable, Coco, we talked about this yesterday, when I challenge myself to get uncomfortable, now I'm in another space of self-discovery, okay? So every time we allow ourselves to get uncomfortable, depending on the level of degree that we allow ourselves to be in a space of self-discovery. And so we can determine at any given time how much of ourselves will we allow ourselves to be in self-discovery. So for me, I'm pretty good with just occupying my brain because 99% of what I'm usually thinking about is me. How to help my family, how to help my marriage, how to help you guys, how to solve my problems, how to solve your problems, how to solve the world problems. I'm literally yo, When I do my TED Talk, I think I'm going to do it on the Willie Lynch letter. Because there's so much stuff in there. And how to break a slave, I think when I do my TED Talk, because that is one of my goals, I just got to find something to talk about. Because when I first said I wanted to do a TED Talk, this was in the infancy of me coming into my teacher space. And so I went to my associate. 2 of her children have done TED Talks. So I was like, hey, sis boo, how do I go do a TED Talk? And so she told me what I'm supposed to do a TED Talk. And I don't know if this is high level TED Talk information or if this is inside. I done did it twice. So here's what you do, TED Talk information. But she sent me to the TEDx website and she said, you have to go through all the previous TED Talkers and make sure whatever you want to talk about hasn't been talked about before. And I was just like, well, shit, anything parenting, because this is when I was the healthy family advocate. So I was like, well, everybody's talked about parenting. Now, I know they haven't talked about it my way, but how do I package it in a way? And I couldn't figure it out, but I have never abandoned. I'm going to get my ass on that TEDx stage. And I think that I am going to, what Spirit first told me is, I want to do a test. I want to, like, one of my videos, random video, how many times can I teach from the same video, right? So everything that I'm saying here, now I play it back, and whatever points I pick up from there, I teach from those points, and then teach from those points, and teach from those points. So conceptually, how many times can I teach from one video? And that is for you yourself to know that if you are documenting your life and you're dropping your knowledge in a way that you can revisit it, now you can go and revisit your knowledge and continue to grow yourself based off of your yesterday understanding. So yesterday I said it like this, but now I'm revisiting it from today's brain, and from today's brain I can reteach myself. I can reteach myself. I can continue to grow myself to my highest level because I actually paid attention and documented where I was at yesterday. So I was like, I can go on TED and take one of my videos, and the talking point would be, you can continue to teach yourself based off of what you've taught yourself. You can truly be your only teacher, which I am, in the respect that when I talk to you, I pick up what you're putting down. So you drop the information, I'm dropping the information. It's up to you to put it down. Yes, I opened the book in front of my son and I said, this is how you say the word, but he had to teach himself how to read. So I am teaching myself because I am constantly reevaluating myself. So how much of my time am I spending reevaluating myself? This is the only lie that I'm going to fuck with your name, Ree. I'm going to let it go the next time. But I'm making you feel special, friend, because I know you like that Ree. So that's me giving you your flowers. So if we're in here and we're just like, this is how much I'm comfortable in spending my day living in me space. Because for me, me space is collective space. If I'm solving my problems, I'm solving your problems. If I'm helping you, it's helping me. You know, so, hey, Spider. So I am, you know, I'm still in collective mindset, even though I'm focused on me. But if people say, I don't mind, but they also say it's the devil's playground, but also if they say it, it's probably a lie. And I don't mind is necessary in order for you to commune with God until you get to the space of consciousness where you just are God. And it's just free flowing all the time because you have connected into that which they work so hard for you to forget. But in that, there has to be some value in that I don't mind. And I'm willing to give it that much of my day to just sit. Dog, what you doing? Put that down. No. You know better. Put it down. Just be staying on that BS, boy. All right. So we're done aging. The person said she can't wait to die. She go be with her God. And I'm just like, well, I hope it works out for you that way. Because you are really, really taking this physical world experience for granted by living to die, or to believing that whatever is on the other side is a better place. that is almost a slap in the face to God, to not live the richness and fullness of this physical world experience. For you not to get the most out of what this world is, like you were literally saying, yeah, I know you put me here, but I'm ready to go home. So I'm going to take every day until I go home for granted until you take me home. But, you know, faith without works is dead. So if you ain't out here doing the work and you got faith that you about to go commune and return home, good luck with that, friend. So, yeah, that's it. I think I made all my points. I think I tied bows on everything. I just know that a lot of us need to continue to strengthen our relationship with God. Whatever that looks like, I don't dictate, none of my business. But what God is saying is, I'm trying to use the language. I only got the language that I have. Your convictions or your inflexibility in your beliefs. So you misapply, misconstrue, misattach, erroneously align with being inflexible in particular belief points as belief in God, if that makes sense. So it's not that you are solid in your belief in knowing in God, because anyone who is solid in their belief in knowing of God knows that as in everything that God has created, changes. It's an evolving thing. Nothing stays the same. Not one thing stays the same. You could go look at the Sphinx right now and see how it's evolved over the millions of years that it's been in existence. Even a rock changes. Nothing stays the same. And God uses all outside factors, erosion and weather and all these different things. God uses all these different things, but everything changes. We are confused to think that it has to change itself. It has to change ourselves, but in truth, God uses all outside factors as well to elicit change. But what Spirit is saying is we need to be mindful. And that's why so many of us walked away from God. Because we pay attention. Pay attention, because this is an expression of work that needs to be done in the God relationship. This dog likes to chew on rocks. It's hilarious. Like, she is really getting it in with this rock. At least Alfalfa's smart enough not to chew on rocks. He's pretty dense, but he knows not to chew on rocks. Anyway, when I left the church, I left God because to me God was introduced through the church. And so when I left the church, I left God. That's an error, and that's probably on purpose. Well, we understand through the Willie Lynch letter and, you know, all the different writings that would behoove us to familiarize ourselves with, just so we can see, you know, they had to let their people know, but in letting their people know, they let us know too. So now we can kind of devise an attack based off of, because the plan was initiated in the 1700s or whenever, Egypt, shit. You know, the plan was initiated back then, but we are still experiencing the residuals, ramifications, fallout, manifestations, all these different things. Like, it's all these different things. I know that those different words all have different meanings because we're experiencing all these different things. We're experiencing the fallout. We're experiencing the manifestation. We're experiencing the DNA coding. We're experiencing all these different things based off of, this is the devil, the hooks that they put in us so that we don't know who we are. We can't even touch our divinity because they use God against us. we can't even question God without feeling we're going to hell. So they have used God against us so that we won't even try to seek our divinity. And so those of us who do walk away from the structure of organized religion, we typically walk away from God, because that from the beginning of time was how God was introduced to us, through organized religion. Very few of us in American history that I'm aware of, I only know a handful of people, but that handful of people represent a demographic, and that's where my facts are coming from. You're going to focus on facts, or you're going to focus on this information I'm giving you. Very few people were introduced to God simply from concept. Most people are introduced from God through religion, which means religion tells you how to think of God, which means if you walk away from that particular religion, there is an aspect of you that has to walk away from God. And the one good thing I knew to do with my kids, there's plenty, was I said I'm never going to tell my kids who God is. Because someone telling me who God was messed me up. Because now I'm seeing God through their lens, and their God is limited simply because it's their God. Your needs aren't my needs. But if I can only look to God through your interpretation, then how am I ever going to get my needs fed? I don't ever want to believe in a God that I got to wait till I die to know. No, I want to know God now. I want to partner with you now. I want to build now. I want my heart's desires now. I want all the stuff that you told me. All the stuff that you told me I can have. All the things that you told me I can be. I want it now. In my Veruca Salt voice. I want it now. Why? Because I get what I want, and you promised it to me. You literally promised it to me. So why would I accept anything less? And why in the world would I accept that I gotta wait to die to experience it? Not me. And why would I believe in that God? I'm not believing in the God that I gotta wait to die to cease to exist. I gotta suffer through this. Like, I've definitely been in this space in life where I'm just like, if this is it, take me now. Like, I'm only here because I got kids. Like, this it? I'm good. Like, I done live. If what you promised me is 40 to 50 more years of this, I'm good. I've experienced it for 40. I don't need 50 more. Yeah. But also in that, I've derived meaning in life. I've made my relationship with my children so good that I want to know how this thing turns out. I need to know all this work that I'm putting in. I need to know the man that you become, the woman you become, and the children you produce, and the spouses you align with, and the lives that you lead, and the careers that you choose. I want to. Spirit told me I am royalty. I am of royal blood. Who gonna tell me I'm not? I am of royal blood, and that's not from a space of delusion. You know, we always want to think the best of ourselves. If there is a question mark to fill, well, damn it, I'm going to choose the most beautiful thing to fill it with, even though we're refusing to do the work to be that which we identify with. To my point, the reason why I want my children to start calling me Queen Mother is because I finally am to the space in my life where I identify as a queen. Excuse me. Am I actually getting off camera? My bad. I only got so much space. Don't act like you ain't ever seen nobody sneeze before. Processing through these allergies. Early on when I was doing lives and all these different things, I would lean over to the side and all these different things. I'll try to, delicately sneeze, but hell, I'm human. I have to allow human to happen. If you want to experience me, you have to allow me to be human. And if you have a problem with me being human, that's your first order of business to heal through. All right, I'll be here, maybe. I keep trying to wrap it up, and God keeps bringing in new points. Well, I can't blame you, because to be a woman of my word, I should have been off of here a couple topics ago. I am choosing, because I'm not bored anymore. As soon as I find something else to talk about, why not? I ain't doing nothing else. My husband is doing what my husband is doing, and I'm here. I'll tell that story when I can tell the story, but all I can say is God is real. God moves in crazy ways, not mysterious ways. God's hands moving over our lives isn't mysterious. What Spirit told me last night is there's no such thing as today. We are constantly living in tomorrow, because what we do today is creating tomorrow, which means we can't take today for granted. We have to be very, very intentional in that which we do today, because we are living for tomorrow. And it was a lot when Spirit dropped on me. I was like, yo, this is a lot. Hold on. How is there no such thing as today? Like, you got to help me out here. And so this is a theory that dropped in yesterday. But if we are actively creating realities, that is something we can all agree on. Yes, I agree that we are actively creating realities. At what stage in the process is the future or tomorrow being created? Is it being created? We are planting seeds. Boom, pop your stuff. So when we put those seeds in the ground, are the seeds, I know I can't speak your language because I'm just now understanding this to this degree. I can't flip it up and use somebody else's language and I'm going to start sounding crazy, but you are right. So if we are creating tomorrow, are we creating it from yesterday's perspective, today's perspective, or tomorrow's perspective? Well, yesterday created today. Today creates tomorrow. So that means if I am always creating tomorrow, that means today needs to be very intentional, which means the seeds that I am putting into the ground, nothing can take for granted. I can't take anything for granted if I am being intentional in creating my tomorrow, which means I'm already living tomorrow right now, because that which I'm doing today is crafting my tomorrow. And my tomorrow is literally being altered and shaped depending on whatever decision I make with my day today. It's crazy the way that this is happening. And I'm sure they've done movies about this. But as we intentionally live our lives today, tomorrow is being crafted. If that makes sense. I see it. Came to me yesterday, and that's all I got. It makes sense, though. So, if you take anything from that little spiel, it's be intentional. Every single second matters. Everything you do matters. And it is very important for you to live knowing that every single thing you do is creating your tomorrow. So if you're over there living to die, you're going to have a lot of miserable tomorrows. You're going to get a lot of more of the same because you think that your reward is in heaven. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, if you got to be here. If you got to be here, why not make it count? If I got to be here. Right, so true. I'm telling you, friend, like, if I gotta be here, I might as well make it count. If I can create a reality, if I can put so much intentions into my life that I could end up on a stage in front of tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, 25 people, and I'm actively healing that many people at a time. If I can do it, I'm going to do it. And the only way that I can do it is to keep doing it. You understand? I can't enter into the tomorrow of my desires without being extremely intentional today. Every single thing. So now when I'm going back to the amount of time that I allow myself to have that idle space, but I know that the time that I need to be intentional to create the reality that I desire, but everybody else is saying that idle mind space, there's something in there. I have to determine to what degree do I allow for that space. And I think when I go outside and I lay on the trampoline and I stare up at the sky, you know, that's a good time that I could spend where I stop all intrusive thoughts. And yeah, I allow whatever it is to be given to me. But it's all I'm just going to allow. Stop putting your parameters on allowing. Just allow and see what manifests. And then what manifests, now we can put some parameters on it. But we want to put parameters on things before we even enter the room. This is what it looks like before I even enter the room. So then when you enter the room and things are moving in a totally different direction, then you ain't even been in the room to know what the room, this is a relationship, this is a friendship, this is raising children and you've never had them. These are all the different things you've never experienced, but you believe you know what you know, and you go into the room in that space of believing what you know, but then things are physically manifesting in that space and you're just trying to put it within your parameters to make sense of it. But you have to understand, if you allow, love you, Ree, if you allow in that, now you can actually assess the room in accordance to the room versus assessing the room in accordance to what you would like the room to be. This is reactive brain versus actually logical brain. We can try to control something from theory, or we can actually come into a space, assess the space, gather the data, go back, align it with our theory, because the theory is a form of our heart's desires. How can we get our heart's desires based off of the very real circumstances? And so you get your heart's desires based off of the very real circumstances by taking the very real circumstances, working it into your theory, and now creating how to make your reality based on the reality that presently exists. It's not for you to come into a reality and try to alter it. That is what you're bumping up against. You're trying to alter a reality to your will. You can't do that, especially if you're the odd man out. So this is going to be a step parent or someone coming into a situation that's already established. You cannot come in with your agenda. Even if the other parent allows you to do it or the other people allow you to do it, there is a flow that's already in place. This is you coming into a conversation that's already taking place. You want to know how to successfully enter into a conversation? Figure out what the conversation is and find a way to add to the conversation. If you're just running your mouth just so you can be heard and seen, that's annoying. Saying obvious stuff is annoying. Actually assessing what's going on and finding out how you can be a part of it, that is what we're doing. Let go and let God. So I don't know. I repost all of my lives on LoneeAppleton Live on YouTube. If you're not a part of the community, I am a teacher. I am the world's educator. So I am sharing knowledge. I share knowledge in video form here on TikTok and YouTube as the apple turns. I share knowledge in books. I have 2 published books. You can find out more at LoneeLifestyle.com. If you're in the Phoenix area, I host local events. So the Sister Circle once a month. We're not doing one for January because we had venue issues. But you come and get this live. I travel, so if you know a promoter and you want to bring out some talent that your people have never seen, and you know, like, if you want to have that deal, this is the chick you book for a speaking engagement, all of those things. I don't play games. You tell me what you want to talk about, and I will dig into it and heal whatever the fuck we need to heal through. I am a coach. My services are $222 for an hour and 45 minutes. So we are digging into what you need to dig into and finding the solution so you are no longer plagued. But understand, you got to do the work. I can tell you what to do. You got to actually do it. Don't come in here with that bullshit. Cut it out. Yeah, that's me. Get into the content. If you are a reader, I write my ass off daily on my Facebook, LoneeAppleton. So if you just want to stimulate your brain, understand any piece of my content that you are able to consume is something for you. I'm not here to entertain you, though I'm entertaining. I'm not here to, whatever it is that you consume content for, though I do those things. I'm human. And I know that I have to appeal to certain things. Yeah, I'm kind of cute, and I know I could get cuter, but I'm cute enough to where everybody can relate to me. I don't want to be so cute that other people are like, ooh, bougie bitch. No, I'm me. And I don't present this way because this is a gimmick. This is me most comfortable in my skin, and I refuse to do anything that is not authentic to me unless I have to, which I know once this thing starts going, commercial, I'm going to have to clean some things up. But for now, I'm going to turn on my camera, I'm going to go live, and I'm going to drop this shit. And so it's reposted LoneeAppleton Live. As the apple turns, pick up my books, pick up my coaching services, join the community, get to know each other, and build your network. I am a bridge. Many of you guys know each other through me. You met through me, and then you went off and had beautiful relationships. So grow your community. I am a community bridge. There's so many things that are happening here, and you need to be a part of it if you are being intentional in your life. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go lay on the trampoline and watch me some K-dramas and neglect the rest of my day because my third eye is throbbing. All right, guys, have a great evening. Thank you, Coco, for you ran the distance with me, sis. I appreciate you.